So I've got this container. I think it's 275 gallons. A friend of mine was going to do something with it. He wanted it off his property. He gave it to me. So I got it for free. We've got a little bit of property out here. There's Paxton. He dressed up for the video. Got a little bit of property out here and started a garden. I'm going to flip this around. So we have a little garden going and I'm going to expand it. We have a pool and we're on a well out here in the mountains. And the volume of water we have in that well fluctuates. If you're not careful, you can run the well dry. We have 6 kids, so that's happened a couple times. But you wait an hour or two and there's a little bit more water in it. And then overnight, you're reset, sort of. So I've never done this before, but I've watched some videos on YouTube. I think I'm gonna put this container right here because it is the base of it. I'll build a wooden platform for it. The base of it is a little bit higher than that pool. And as some of that water evaporates in the pool, I will use I'll use water from the rain barrel to fill it up instead of using from my well, or at least at first, and at least I could dump 275 gallons in it if I had to. And we can use it for everyday watering the garden, and eventually I will use it as backup drinking water too, but I have a filtration system for that. So I will do more videos to come so you can see the progress. Okay, so I'm just washing it down. It was pretty nasty. It's been sitting for a few years. Look inside. Nasty. But you'll see how clean I get that. And I'm going to use bleach. Don't worry, there's bleach in your city drinking water. That's where you get the chlorine from. So I'm going to clean it out with bleach, keep cleaning it up. And should be pretty good. I'm going to make sure it doesn't have any leaks. And we'll see if we can figure it out. So it's looking a lot better. I cleaned the outside. I still have a little bit more to do. Don't want anyone coming to my house seeing a nasty water storage tank. Took the metal cage off to clean it better. I'm gonna keep cleaning it. I poured about a quart of all-purpose straight bleach in it, and poured several gallons of water in it, and sloshed it back and forth. Rolled the tank side to side so the bleach water got all over every square inch of the inside. I'll do some more of that, cleaning it out. I want to get it pretty clean. But you can see the garden down below that we want to water with it, and I'm going to make that garden about twice as big. I got a lot more plans, but we'll see how this goes. There's my wife in the pool and my youngest, and this is the gutter. I'm going to go up there and clean the roof eventually. I'm going to scrub it with soap and water, which sounds like I'm going to slip and fall off of it, but I'll tie off, we'll see. And so I've got all that surface area to collect water. I'll probably delete that downspout down there, or put a small rain barrel down there. I don't know. At first I'll probably block off that downspout so I can get all this water coming down here. It's 2 stories on this side, the walkout basement. And that container will be up under there, back behind the AC unit. And it'll collect water, and I'll have a hose connected to it to just gravity feed the garden and fill the pool. And my well is way down there by the chicken coop, by that metal building. If it runs out, I can hook 200 or 300 feet of hose together, and I could dump 275 gallons of water back into that well, I don't know, in a matter of minutes or so. And then I'll do another 1 or 2 down there, collecting off of that stable roof, so I can use it to water my animals. Okay, I just made huge advances in cleaning the water tub. So I got this extended paint pole that I've had, and this old brush that we use to clean the pool with this paint pole, and it actually, at an angle, shoved down in here. Or you can put it in there first, like this, hold it, and then thread it in, and then reverse that, taking it out. Just don't drop it in there. So I couldn't get the tops because of the angle of the pole. So I took the brush off and used my hand and just leaned way over and was able to scrub. But it's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting clean. Lexi, say hi. YouTube. Okay. So sorry, I don't have a cameraman, so I got to show you as I go in stages. So I dug out a little bit. I had that brick or block retaining wall, which is leaning. Whoever did it didn't do it right, but it has rebar and some concrete in it, so I think it'll hold at least for a little while. So I have this platform I built resting on it, sort of, and I have it screwed to this 6x6 and to the wall over there, and sort of shimmed underneath the key structural places. It's not perfect, but I got some blocks under there wedged in there tight under those joists. I made pads of dirt and rock, which I tamped down. Like every inch that I added dirt, I tamped down with a hammer and a 2x4. Everything is perfectly level. Everywhere that this platform is touching something is tamped down rock hard with a framing hammer. I beat it down. And I'll deck this, and it'll either hold or it won't. I got the deck done. I just wanted a good, nice surface to put two of these things, even though I only have one. And I spaced them that wide simply to save $4.47. I get a military discount at Lowe's, so I saved $4 because I would have used 8 boards, but I only bought 7 so I could space them wide, and it doesn't matter. I guess this will work. Depends on how much it settles under all that weight. And I don't know. If you don't like it, I don't really care because it's mine. And so I got it decked. I'm about to put the cage back on this and get it on and get it secured in place. And then we'll go on to the next step. Alright, I got it on there. No thanks to my kids. Got it on there myself. So I'm gonna tie in to this downspout. I've ordered some stuff to do that. I'll tie in somewhere around there. I'll go into the top. I have a vent coming that I'll put in the top. To the left of this T will be a spigot and just a hose connection. This right side will go to the second tank. And that's all that'll be on the second tank. And they will equalize. They will rise and fall at the same rate. And that'll give me what, 550, I don't know, 500, 275 each, so whatever. We're not doing math today. And so that'll be my first rain collection system project. Sorry for the air conditioner noise. This is what I did so far. So I got the frame screwed down all the way around to the platform. So this cap, I don't know if that's focusing or not, that black cap, that came with it when I got it. I don't know if the guy who had it before put it on, and that T, just the T itself was already coming out. I guess it's on a threaded coupler on the other side with Teflon tape or something so that it doesn't leak. Obviously I have the valve shut. I put, 25 gallons of water in it from my well just to test for a leak. I don't see any leak. You can see I had to chisel out or else I wouldn't be able to get that cap off ever. I didn't think about that. I don't know why it's so bottomed out. You'd think it'd be a little bit higher on the tank, but whatever. So I've got this one stubbed out with the valve closed. Doesn't matter anyways because I have the main valve off, but that's going to go to the other tank. And obviously once I get the other tank in, I'll connect it and turn the valve on inline, and then they'll equalize with each other. If I ever needed to remove the other tank for whatever reason or work on it, I've got a way to shut it off and, I don't know, cut the pipe on the other side free and get it out of there. And then this, I'll get a, I don't know, female threaded piece to go in there, and I'll thread in like an old school brass spigot right there with a garden hose, and that'll be all there is to it. So I got this. It's called an earth-minded flexi-vent diverter. Something like that. Got it on Amazon. I thought it came with a hose too, but you know what? I don't need it. So this is all rubber. And the idea is that it goes in a 3" by 4". I think they sell them smaller. It goes inside the downspout. So you cut a hole. It didn't give any instructions in the one that I got. I picked the cheapest one on there. But I'm using a doorknob hole saw, regular 2 1/8" hole saw. And I'm going to drill right into the end of the downspout. I'm going to do it higher up, obviously, because I need water to flow. And then you scrunch this end up and shove it through the hole. So you only have that sticking out. And water, when it goes down a downspout, it sticks to the sides of the inside of the downspout. It's not like flooding the dead space in there. It's water surface tension is on the sides, the perimeter. So this collects all that water. Yes, some will go through the middle, but you're going to get a lot from what I saw on YouTube videos. And then it goes out those holes, out here. It'll come out of my pipe and tie in to my fill pipe. And I'll show you later more detail how I did that. This is what I have now. I added this. I just did a 90, came out, found these fittings at my local hardware, mom and pop hardware store, to this here. So if I open the main valve, then I now have water confined in here, because that valve's off. That will go to a future tank. This goes to a garden hose. It's off. If I could turn it on, these would be off, and then I'd have water coming out right here, which I tested it yesterday. It all works. I've seen, though, on Facebook that because this is reduced down so small, you've lessened your, obviously, your volume and velocity of water. So I'm a little scared that nothing but a trickle is going to ever come out. But I want to wait and see what it does when I have it full of water, to see what actually comes out of the hose all the way to that garden. Anyways, it'll be better than nothing. Maybe it'll be a work in progress. But I have some like HVA strapping, pipe strap, whatever it is, from another job that I'm going to use to tie up my pipes to the bottom of that deck, just to hold them in suspension. And then it just so happened that I shoved a like that fitting, a 3/4 inch PVC elbow or coupler or 90, whatever, fits really snugly, tightly in there. And I think that's all I got to do, just shove it in there, come out with something, and then start sloping my pipe down, and I'll be done. Still haven't cleaned the roof or anything yet, but it's not drinking water yet. So that's where we are right now. So there's the hole. If I worked for myself, I'd fire myself. That hole is terrible. It's even off to the side. I'm showing you this to show you that if this works, then anyone can do this. So I'm going to put the black thing in there. I filed down the sharp edges and stuff. I'm going to shove the black thing in there, and I'm going to seal around it with some sealant probably. No big deal. Okay, so I got it in there. I didn't even use any sealant because it went in there pretty tight, even on the end where I cut the hole off center. And I used the screws that came with it, just screwed them right in. If I think it needs sealant later, I'll add sealant, but I think it's gonna be fine. I don't even really care if a little bit of water leaks out of there. It doesn't really matter. It shoved right in there. Do not try to shove it in with your fingers. You will cut your finger off. I used like a stick or a little piece of wood that I had found, and I shoved it in. If you get your finger caught in there, that's going to be bad. So now it's just connecting PVC to right there, and it's done. I sealed with stuff called Big Stretch this screen down, and this is a drywall sanding screen because it's a little bit more rigid than insect screen. Thought insect screen would just sag down there, and if I ever need to change it out, I'll just get a putty knife and pry it out and clean all the sealant off. It'll be really easy. So that'll keep out the big debris, but I don't have any trees hanging over my house. My house is up high. Those are the closest leaves. There's no leaves on my roof. Now my gutter's filthy, but I'm not using this for drinking water yet. But I know I told you I was gonna clean the roof. I never did because it's kind of a project. I'm going to though. I cleaned the gutter before I put the sealant down, and just with a paper towel and no cleaner, it got it that clean. So I don't have any worries about getting this clean. It's just never been cleaned since this house was built, I guess. Anyway, so that's the main debris filter there. Okay, so I got that piece in, and I did seal around it because it leaked a little bit. And I just ran the pipe just like this. I have a pipe or HVA strap helping support it, even though it was pretty rigid. I did this down one really for another option, just for anything, to route water somewhere else, or just literally for any unknown reason, so that I would always be ready to go. But it ended up also doubling as a first flush, which you can learn about in other videos. The debris from the first start of the rain off the roof, the loose debris that comes down, would tend to, not all of it obviously, fall down that tube, and then clean water go across the top, and then I can open that valve and flush the large debris out. But I have that filter screen up top, and I'll show you how I was trying to do it before the AC kicked back on, so you'll have to deal with that noise. So we come out there, we just 45 here, there's that down tube to the first flush. I dumped some water in with a with a garden hose just to test. And then I came here and went into here. This valve is something I inherited with this tub, so I just used it. So what I did here, this is the only connection that is not glued. And yes, that is just a piece of nylons, literally pantyhose. I had my wife buy me. She was a little concerned when I texted her and told her I needed some. But I just cut a square out of it. And you can get a lot of these little squares out of a set of pantyhose. And I just pulled it over and stretched it. Because the tinier the holes are, the more your water is going to back up and the more your filter is going to clog. So I stretched it pretty tight to pull apart that grid of pantyhose, and it's still a super tight filter. So it filters at the screen at the downspout, like I showed you, and it micro filters here. And this is just for miscellaneous water. I want to keep the debris out of my valves and stuff so that they'll work well. And then it has this, I don't know if I just wanted to shut it off and work on it, but this is all set up so I can unscrew this. This is not glued to the lid, it simply goes through the lid. I can unscrew this while it's dumping water if I want. This is some, I don't know, it's a vent that I found on some website. It's hard to find a vent that's covered on the top, and I wanted it to look cool, but that's so tiny, I don't know that it's going to do the job. So if you can imagine in a downpour, this thing, water will be dumping into this. Well, the air has to escape. And as it fills up, it has to have a vent. So that's why I put a vent in it. But I think that's too tiny. I think it'll be forcing air through there. So I made this vent. And these are not glued together. This is just 3/4 inch PVC pipe shoved into a 90 with a short piece of PVC pipe shoved into another 90. And I put another piece of hose in it, stretched in it, not for a filter, but to keep bugs and debris out. So I thought I'll just drill with a hole saw or paddle bit. I'll take this out and drill a hole the size of this and shove it down in the hole, and it'll just work like a gas vent that you see on the side of the road. That'll let the air in and out. You know, and also if this tank's full and you go to dump it, it's not gonna dump if it doesn't have a vent. It's like holding your finger over the end of a drinking straw. So that will let the water, that'll let the air flow through so it'll vent properly. That's all there is to it. I think I might try to do one more video while it's raining to show you it works. Other than that, that's it. If the concept works over time, I'm going to add another one there, and then I'm going to do more. Well, I was gonna, for the last segment, film it filling up while raining, but let's face it, I'm not that dedicated. I'm not going to stand out here in the rain and film it. You get the idea. So thanks for watching. I'm not a YouTuber. I couldn't care less if you subscribe or like the video or thumbs down. I just like, when I go to YouTube to find how to do something, I like that I can find a video to show me how to do something, like, you know, was YouTube 10 years ago. Anyway, so this is it. If you got comments, post them. I'll try to answer them. This is my first thing. I'm not a pro. I'm sure you'll have advice for how I did it wrong, and that's fine. Maybe I'll do the next one right. Thanks for watching. I'll show you, I put the vent on, so I'll show you that. So I upgraded the vent. I left the old one, hey, the more the merrier. And I just drilled a 1-inch hole. I had to carve it out a little bit more with a knife. I mean, whatever, it's not perfect, but this is my very first experience. I put that pantyhose liner in there just to filter bugs out. And it's just a vent to allow this to release water and fill up without, you know, bulging the tank or stopping or getting vacuum locked or whatever. I added a pipe support, used an electrical pipe bracket to kind of hold it in place. Did the same to my first flush, which wasn't intended to be a first flush, but I guess that's what it is for now. Anyways, that's it. That's the first one. I want to make sure it works great, and I'll put another one right next to it, and I'll do some more on the property.